All right, gentlemen, let's move straight to our second conversation. Religious genocide is one of the gravest allegations any country can face, but such accusations should not be taken with a pinch of salt. The federal government has dismissed recent claims by international groups that Nigeria is witnessing targeted killings of Christians. While referring to the allegations as baseless and false, the Minister of Information, Mohammed Idris, explained that both Muslims and Christians have been victims of terrorism and banditry, particularly in northern Nigeria. The minister maintained that misinterpreting the crisis as religious persecution undermines the government's ongoing counter-terrorism efforts and distorts the reality on the ground. I mean, GKB, what's your take on the federal government's reply to certain reports of genocide against Nigeria, against Christians in Nigeria?
Well, I think the minister was very forthright in trying to explain what's on ground. He's not denying the fact that we have problems.
Yes.
But that the victims were not based purely on religion. That part of those victims have been Muslims, some have been Christians, some have been animists. But those who put out this particular story are not interested in the nuances of the victims. They just want a black and white, something that they can sell to the Western countries. And nothing sells better than telling people in the US or UK or Western Europe that Christians are being targeted for annihilation, for destruction. That sounds better than telling them that there's a group of people, some of them are Christians, some are Muslims, that were victims of constant terrorism within the borders of our country. So to that, I agree with Mr. Idris, that was correct. It did not hide the fact that we have challenges. But what he's saying basically is that these challenges are multifaceted. They are not targeting any particular. Yeah, there may be some ethnics that have been targeted, but it's not based on their religion. It's based on their ethnicity and their particular area of the country. So to me, that's very clear. But that does not take away the danger of what my people will call the danger of the force. So that's what we are going through. A lot of people who heard the story will not wait for the feedback. And that's why I think the government will have to do more when it comes to being proactive.
Absolutely.
Because nowadays, like you remember the day we met with the former minister, Lai Mohammed, and we told him that the news cycle is no longer 24 hours. It's now based on research, 35 seconds. If you do not react under a minute to something said about you, chances are people will go away with the original story, and they will not have time to listen to what you have to say. That to me is why they need to be on their feet, because enemies of Nigeria are everywhere. But like I said, those who do propaganda, this is what they call textbook.
Absolutely. All right, Majid, what evidence does this group have to back up their claims? Like, oh, it's just Christians. And also, your reaction to the federal government's feedback to this matter? Yeah,
like GKB said, we have some doomsday preachers who are not happy with the kind of progress we are making in Nigeria. Now, today we see a reversal in trends. Nigeria used to be a dumping ground for imported petroleum products. Now, Nigeria is exporting
refined products.
So their refineries are dying over there. So they needed an excuse to paint Nigeria black. Now, we've had instances where Muslims were attacked in mosques during Jumat services, during wedding fatias, marriage ceremonies. It has also happened in churches. Even those who are doing Isheshe, traditional religion, they have also been affected. We are not saying that should be the norm, but then for somebody to now sit somewhere and pigeonhole that it is only Christians that are being attacked, I think is very unfair. But then I love the response of the minister. Without just stopping at debunking that claim, he also gave empirical facts on the number of terrorists that have been neutralized. He said about between 2023 and today, more than 13,000 terrorist groups, individuals have been neutralized, while more than 10,000 hostages have been freed. And these efforts are still going on. In fact, he actually made reference to the leader of the Anwaru Islam group, that's the arm of Al-Qaeda in Nigeria, who was arrested last month. So these are efforts that they don't like to see, and Nigeria continues to cut the links to these terrorist groups that makes them vulnerable. But then they still have some localized attacks, once in a while. But that's not to say that our security operatives are not doing their best. But then it's a fight that we have to continue to step up, so that this kind of reports can be put to shame. And also, apart from the reply, what else do you think the government should be doing to correct the narrative internationally? I mean, the issue of those who are experiencing religious persecution in that. What else should the government be doing to correct that narrative?
I think that the NOA, is probably doing the best they can under the circumstances. But I think we need to take it away from the local scene and create international wings. Because like I said, while you are selling to Nigerians, you also sell to people who are non-Nigerians. I agree that most of people doing this are people who are not happy with the progress we've made in the last few years. And I do know that it fits into their narrative to keep painting Nigeria in these bad lights. Because ultimately, some may even be doing it because I can tell you, based on experience, that since the news came out, I can tell you for free that I know some Nigerians who have applied for refugee status based solely on this news item. If this was announced at 9 a.m. in the morning, I know people that who are ready to write that I've been persecuted, I'm a Christian, and I must be given refugee in your country because my life is in danger. Forgetting that out of 230 million Nigerians, probably about 110 are Christians. And for you to deal with that kind of number, and the one we need only you to tell them something else is going on.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think the local religious leaders also have a role to play in countering this misinformation.